So, today we're diving into the story of Alan Turing. I mean, we're talking about a mind that literally shaped the modern world we all live in. But his story is also one of profound tragedy, a really painful reminder of how society can sometimes fail its greatest heroes.
And this quote, it just perfectly captures the whole conflict of Alan Turing's life. This is the theme that runs through everything we're about to talk about. This collision of just incredible world-changing genius with crushing societal prejudice.
Okay, so let's start with the sheer scale of his intellect. Alan Turing wasn't just, a brilliant mathematician. He was a foundational thinker. He completely blew the doors off what people thought was even possible with machines and logic.
And look, this isn't just some abstract, dusty old historical fact. The device you're watching this on right now, that phone in your hand, that laptop on your desk, yeah, its origins can be traced directly back to the theoretical machines that Turing was dreaming up decades ago. He is, in so many ways, the father of modern computing and artificial intelligence.
But his most famous, and you could argue his most impactful, contribution came during the absolute darkest days of World War II. At a top-secret facility, a place called Bletchley Park, Turing was handed a challenge that was pretty much considered impossible, to break the unbreakable Nazi codes.
So the Nazis were relying on this machine called Enigma. It was used to encrypt all their sensitive military communications. And this thing was an engineering marvel, capable of scrambling messages in, well, quintillions of different ways. For the Allies, it was just total gibberish. Cracking it was thought to be a complete non-starter.
But Turing did the impossible. He and his team designed a machine that could actually crack the Enigma codes. This gave the Allies a direct window right into the enemy's plans. And get this, historians now estimate that this breakthrough shortened the war by at least 2 years. Think about that. That's millions of lives saved.
So let's just recap, right? He was a war hero, he was a scientific visionary, he was the architect of our entire digital age, a true giant of history. And then, everything changed.
Because for everything he had done for his country, for the world, Alan Turing had a secret. At least, it was something that the society of his time could not and would not tolerate.
In post-war Britain, being gay was a criminal offense. And so, in 1952, the very man who had saved millions of lives was prosecuted by his own government, not for treason, not for espionage, but simply for who he was.
The reality of this so-called choice is just, it's hard to even wrap your head around. Faced with going to prison, Turing was forced to undergo a horrifying alternative, chemical castration. This was a state-sanctioned hormonal treatment that was meant to cure him. It was a brutal punishment that caused immense suffering. Just 2 years later, he was dead, at only 41 years old.
Turing's story is just such a powerful takedown of these really harmful myths. The idea that queer people haven't made significant contributions to science? It's absurd. Turing literally created modern computing. And anyone who thinks being gay was never a crime, his prosecution is undeniable proof that for a huge chunk of history, simply existing as an LGBTQ+ person could get you legally punished.
For decades, Turing's story was pretty much buried. It was all obscured by the shame and the secrecy that surrounded his persecution. But in recent years, there's been this powerful movement to reclaim his legacy and to finally get some measure of justice for what he went through. And man, this timeline just shows you how long that road was. It took nearly 60 years after his death for the British government to finally issue a formal pardon. And then in 2021, he received one of the nation's highest honors, his face on the 50-pound note. What a powerful symbol of how much things have changed.
But why does this story, from all the way back in the 1950s, still feel so relevant today? Well, because it's a stark reminder that real justice is about more than saying sorry after someone's gone. It's about building a world where no one ever has to fear being punished for who they are in the first place.
Honoring Turing isn't just about remembering a historical figure. It's about actively continuing the fight. It means we have to challenge discriminatory systems wherever we see them. It means celebrating the contributions of all people and really truly understanding that a person's identity is a source of strength, not a weakness.
This right here is the core takeaway. Turing's life proves that queer history isn't some separate, niche topic. It is woven right into the fabric of human progress, of innovation, of everything.
And that leaves us with this question.
doesn't it? Alan Turing was almost completely erased from history because of prejudice. His life forces us to wonder, how many other brilliant minds have we lost to discrimination? And what can we do right now to make sure we never, ever silence another voice?